Hey babies, and how are you all doing? Hope you guys are doing fine. Hope you're doing great. Hope everywhere Marama, hope everywhere is still well. Welcome back, babies. Guys, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and also do not forget to give me a huge thumbs up and then share this video. Thank you. So in Biggie's house today, it's been so calm, music playing, housemaid doing their thingy, and all of that. So it is trending on the social space. People be like, what happened to Biggie? Right? Yesterday, we did not hear about Biggie. The housemates were supposed to have their diary session. We did not hear anything from Biggie. We did not get to see Biggie speak and all of that. Waiting they stop. Has anything? Even the funniest one was somebody who said, Abi Biggie don't buy. You know? And I could not stop laughing. So to make it worse, the ninja, normally we get to hear Biggie says, this is Big Brother. Will the housemate move to the garden and close the door until, further notice or something like that? Or this is Big Brother, the garden door may not be open. But we don't get to see that right now. What happens is Ninja comes to the house with a paper bearing housemaid should leave the house, leave the house, go to the garden and lock the door until further notice. And Ninja would come back, housemaid should whatever come back into the house. Like it's been the Ninja disseminating the information to the housemates. And then people are like, wetin dey happen now? Any which ways, there is nothing to be scared about. The theme for this week is flying solo. That being said, these housemates would miss Biggie's voice for this week. Biggie is not going to be speaking to the housemate directly this week until the week is over, right? And if you watch previous season, you would have noticed something as this. Okay, so now the thing is right now, the housemates, everything they are doing this week, they are doing for themselves. Nothing happened to Biggie. Biggie is doing jiggy. Biggie is fine. So because people are like, okay, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, we get diary session. And Biggie said, hold my beer. Like, because he knows it's not going to be that far-fetched. Like, it's not going to be like when Biggie is having his diary session with the housemates, where the housemates will pour out their hearts. You guys know one of the reasons why the diary session takes long is because the housemates use the opportunity to pour out their hearts, say things that they want to say to Big Brother, yeah. But this time around, today, whilst the housemates were doing their thinking, the head of house Zita went to go get the brief from the diary room and then gathered the housemates, and it was revealed that the housemates will be handling diary sessions for themselves today. This also happened in previous season. Even let's just talk about the recent season, the No Lose God season here, where we had the same week where the housemates had to be big brother for each other. They had to pick paper. That is what they did today. As I'm speaking to you guys, they picked paper, they picked names, and some names, some people do not like the name they picked. Midday picked Imisi. Midday is gonna be big brother to Imisi, and Isabella picked Elmar. Isabella is going to be big brother to Telmar. But the first people to go to the diary room, we're going to be talking about the first and second persons who went to the diary room because they had to pick number anyways. It wasn't the head of house who is giving the direction in which they would go. They picked number, and then what was he called? Jason picked first, and he is the head of house to Midday, and then followed by the head of house Zita, who is big brother to Joanna. So let's talk about this too. Then in bits we'll be talking about the diary sessions, okay, if need be. So for Midday's diary session, she got in there. It was kind of the big brother, which is Jason, was just all straight. Why I could even say this is because after watching that of Midday and Jason, I enjoyed Zita's own and Joanna more. Zita acted more like big brother. Jason was just straight to the point. So anyways, the first question because the question, they are not the one asking the question. They also picked the question to ask. Biggie was the one who gave the question, okay? So the housemates are not the one who decides the question to be asked. So Jason's first question on the book for Midday was, if there is anything she could change, what would she change? She now said something transpired the other time. They triggered her to actually act over. Unlike her, she wouldn't have acted that way, that they were calling her all sorts of names and all of that. And especially it was also coming from someone she does not have any issue with, which is Imisi, and she felt so bad about that. So because of that, she acted overboard. She felt like she wouldn't have actually given that energy. She wouldn't have acted that way. So that was one thing. If she's going to change, she would have changed. And then Biggie said, while she was coming from the stage, if there's something she wants to change, what would she change? That's what would she change, as in from her first day in the house. And then she said, maybe from the stage, yeah. because she was kind of nervous, and then she feel like if she can take back the hands of time, she would actually be less nervous or don't be nervous at all, right? That's one thing she would change. And then big brother asks her, sorry, that if she was supposed to swap bed with anybody, who would she want to swap bed with? And then she said, she wouldn't want to swap bed with anyone. That was what Midday said, that she wouldn't want to swap bed with anyone, that if at all she needed to, that she's already close to Bright Morgan, her own person. But if at all she needed to swap bed with anybody, it's gonna be somebody who is close to Bright Morgan, and it will be Kola. So that Kola would at the same time be on her bed and be close to Dede. At the same time, she too would still be close to Bright Morgan. And then she was also asked a question about whom does she think is the most misunderstood housemate in the house. And then Midday says the most misunderstood housemate is, she think, is culture. And why is that? Is because from her own end, there are some things culture have been doing in the house that she found awkward, that she found weird, but until Faith related culture story during the Aquafina task. Now you see, for those people who are saying Faith, so don't suppose win Aquafina task, so yada 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 yada. That boy literally spilled something because of that task. Spill how this boy was using that thing, bottles, recycle stuff to make money, and now is doing it at ease by arranging those bottles without being told or being paid for anything. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're done with that gist. If you missed it, it's on my channel. Scroll down, you would see the gist of the Aquafina shenanigans. So then why I actually went back to Fame Matter is because Midday literally learned something from that. Midday said it was after Faith said what he said during the Aquafina tax about culture, and then she now realized that sometimes people's reaction stems from what they have been through, their background, what life has actually made them do, and all of that. So getting to see them in some certain situationship, sometimes you get to understand that this person is like this because of something that has happened in the past, instead of judging fast. And she said this is not her trying to say someone's shortcoming. She's trying to vouch for someone, or trying to say, oh, it's okay for someone to have such shortcoming, but at the same time it's still okay to understand that what prompted this is something, and never to just overjudge the person like that. So for me, it is culture who is misunderstood, and that was that for that of Midday. And then for Joanna's own, I enjoy Joanna and Zita's own. You know why? Because Zita was literally asking her, how are you doing? Like, all those questions and all those words Biggie chipping in between. That was how Zita was chipping it in. When Joanna would speak about what's it called, about how she's actually having a tough time washing dishes, and then what's it called, what's her name, Zita would ask further question related to that and be like, Biggie is saying that you're doing this. It's making sense. I don't know if you were watching direct, you would understand what I'm talking about. And then some of the questions she got was when she came in, how she is doing, and then which housemate do you think gossip the most in the house? Yes, which housemate do you think gossip the most in the house? And then she started going round the blocks. Oh, I think there is this person. The person already left the house, and she gossips so much. And that person always say, "Oh, I don't like to gossip." When she stopped, Zita did like Big Brother. She repeated the question and said, Biggie wants to know the name. That was why I feel like she just did it like Biggie. And then, what was the name? Joanna now came out and said, oh, it's Big So. And she also feel like Isabella has also joined the crew. That the people who always fight for alcohol are the people who does those things. That imagine Big So once said herself and Bright was stealing alcohol and all of that. And then she was asked who is the funniest housemate in the house. And then she said she thinks the funniest housemate is Culture. Yes, that Culture is so funny. And then she was asked if she's to save one housemate, who would that be? Like, save one housemate from eviction, who would that be? And then she says Midday, that in as much as she would want to save more than one person, but there is something about Midday during eviction show. I thought I was the only one who see that though. So Joanna said Midday fidgets a lot, like she gets scared a lot. The way she feels during eviction show, eviction evening, like it's so different. So she would want to relieve her of that pain she feels. So it's Midday that she would love to save, for that eviction evening. Like after she finished answering her question, Zita literally, told her that you're a queen, you deserve, because oh, when she was narrating the thingy of stealing drink, she said she doesn't take too much drink because she preferred taking her Smirnoff in a fancy cup. Zita was like, now I understand why you love the soft life week, because you're a soft life girl, you are a queen, you carry yourself like, she just said those sweet words that Biggie said to the housemates, Joanna. In fact, Joanna, they ended up with a hug because Joanna enjoyed it and all of that. And another question that I didn't mention was the week you enjoyed most. And then she mentioned how the week reminded her about her school days, how they went down memory lane and all of that. So that was it anyways with that of Joanna and Zita. So I'm going to be stopping here. We'll be bringing the diary sessions bit by bit, okay? So for now, this is what is going on. For those who are bothered about Biggie is fine. Nothing happened to Biggie. Our Biggie is cool. This is just a fly solo week for the housemates. Thank you, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. That is if you're yet to do so. And please do not forget to like and share this video. Thank you so much for always selling with me. Bye for now, babies.